Hey, good morning, my friends. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Is it Friday yet? It's pre-Friday, right? Um, so my headline there: snowstorm update. Snowstorm. 95% of us, as far as population goes, southern lower Michigan, not in the snowstorm area. But if you're heading to northern lower, far northern lower, you'll get into a heavy snow for this time of the year. Talk about that. And I want to wear a tropical shirt. I think I can do it in this forecast at some point or in the next 7 days. And let's see. Well, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's say hi to some folks. Hey, good morning, Jennifer Webster from Waterford. And hey, dude, back to you, Dale Schweitzer. Robert Paul, good morning to you as well. All right, here we go. Rain showers right now. No ice problems. The coldest precipitation I saw was Grand Rapids at 39 degrees. Otherwise, it's 40s and showering. And this is a morning thing, mostly for the southern half of lower Michigan. Here's the radar forecast showing that. We go through to noon and it's tapering down, and 1 and 2 o'clock maybe in the southern lower. I would say I-94 southward, you could have a shower through about 3 o'clock in the afternoon and then off to the south and east. But generally it's going to be the next 2 hours where we're getting showers now, and those will wind down. All right. Are we getting a foot deep of sunshine, Matthew Bursley? That's hard to do here in Michigan, so probably not. So here's tonight, and if you're traveling tomorrow, you should be just fine. You know, spring breaks are starting again at some schools, so some people may be escaping, driving southward to warmer weather, and should be pretty good. It should be pretty good for that. The only thing we really worry about is a snowstorm, and that's not going to happen. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll move the map. Yes, thank you very much. Thanks for the heads up. Let's see here. Trying to get this a little bit bigger. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. So here we go. Should be all set now. All right, so we go into tomorrow, dry. Tomorrow night. Saturday morning, low pressure center, southern Michigan, and the track of the low pressure center will dictate where the rain to snow line develops, and that track, like I indicated yesterday, I figured will continue to shift northward. Just because Friday is not a day that's going to set us up for a snowstorm in southern or central lower Michigan, because we'll be in the 40s. So how do you get cold enough if you're well warm the day before a storm? Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock, maybe the rain snow line around Traverse City to around Alpena. But all points southward is looking like rain. Saturday evening, 8 o'clock, low pressure center in northeast lower, so the cooler air, I don't want to use colder on this one, the cooler air is starting to wrap back behind it and bring the snow line back down into Grand Rapids and head toward Lansing, but it's light. Now this is 2 a.m. on Sunday, and the storm's pulling off, and we have some light snow around, definitely, and by Sunday morning, once the sun is up, we're done with that. Sunday good, Monday dry, Tuesday, maybe a little bit of shower activity, Wednesday. So looks fairly quiet if we go out 10 days. Next storm system back, the center of it back in Minnesota, and that would be a much more spring-like storm system. All right, I know you want to know where and how much snow. So let's just call this the first look at it. Probably fairly good, maybe varying another 25 miles north or south, probably more north. So this is probably what you'd call the top end of what an area could see. But I got to show it to you because it's close enough. And what the heck, our technology is good enough. So this is the total snowfall predicted by the European model off of this system. Um, you know, I would call it a 4 to 8 inch snow from around Traverse City, around Sheboygan, northward up, definitely into the UP. And then it tapers rapidly. You might go from 4 inches in Traverse City to 1 inch in Cadillac to very little. Grand Rapids to Saginaw, maybe you see some whiteness on the grass early Sunday morning if you get up early enough. But Ann Arbor and Detroit and Lansing, you don't see hardly anything at all, if anything. Okay, so where's it a snowstorm? Let's call it Traverse City's on the edge. Let's call it a snowstorm for Petoskey and Mackinac City, Rogers City, those northern parts of the state. Temperatures, highs today, kind of on the cool side. 45 to 50, southern half, 30s, northern half. Friday, now this is what I'm keying off of. How do you get a snowstorm with a day before the storm like this? So we're in the 40s tomorrow, and we would need colder air, but as the storm system approaches, you usually don't get colder air into it. We're not in this kind of case. Paula Eckert, Frankfurt. Yeah, you're probably in the edge where you could get to 2 to 4 inches of snow. Kim Fry, no, you're probably going to be into just rainfall with a few hours of snow showers after that. So here's Saturday. Look at this: 60 in Ann Arbor and Detroit, then 50s in Saginaw, Lansing, Flint, then 40s in Grand Rapids, then 39 in Cadillac, and then 35 in Traverse City. So hard to have a really big snowstorm with high temperatures making it to 35. Then Sunday, near 50, a lot of places. And Monday in the 40s, Tuesday in the 40s, Wednesday in the 40s and 30s. Little cool patch, I will admit, next week. Little cool patch, but we can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. Thursday on the cool side. Friday, warmth building back to the west. The following Saturday, April 1st. So when we get into southwesterly winds now, we will have much milder air, and it's slow. And I warned you. I warned you about March. I told you in mid-February, polar vortex disruption, cold air is supposed to be dislodged, looks lazy, looks stagnant. I warned you that March was probably not going to be too pretty. And it's a slow work off. I warned you in the last days of March, first week of April, and a slow progression after that. So I'll tell you, April, I think we get spring. A lot of folks complain about Michigan weather, saying it goes from winter to summer, and that does happen sometimes. You stay cold in April, cold in early May, and then boom, you wake up and it's summer. This year, I think we're going to have a really nice April weather, and that's not bad. 50s and 60s for high temperatures in April. So I've been watching this with you. This is the surface temperature anomalies off of the European model, and it goes out 16 days. And what you see is that as we go into next week, so we're at Sunday, now we're at Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday, you see a pretty chilly patch dropping southward, fairly large, taking up a good chunk of the country to be, a few degrees, 5 degrees colder than normal. We get to March 31st, and that's kind of backing up to the west. We get to April 1st and we're a little warmer than normal. And then we get out into the first days of April and we kind of oscillate between slightly warmer than normal and slightly cooler than normal. Something like that right there. April 5th, you're looking at 2 degrees colder than normal, which is really not much at all. And then we go out 16 days and the cold air is shrinking, but you don't see any major anomalously warm temperatures. And that's why I say that I think that April is going to be a slow, gradual progression. I'll take it. It's still quite nice and it's still not winter, and I'll put on a tropical shirt or two and hope you will as well. So there's your update. We'll keep tracking this storm system for you over the weekend. I guess the only really travel problems are if you plan on going northward into the northern third or northern quarter, lower Michigan, and into the UP. If you're heading south for a spring break drive, you could run into some thunderstorms, but you won't have to worry about any ice or snow in Ohio and Indiana, and that can be a real nightmare. So thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. You take care. Bye.